Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video we're going to be doing a mould. I'm going to be casting a mould, and I'm going to be casting this beautiful crystal, holographic crystalled clamshell with a pearl inside. So I was recently contacted by Teexperts to see if I'd like to try out some of their products. Anyway, they sent me out some fast cure resin, and they also sent me out some silicone moulding kit. So that's what I'm going to be doing today, is testing their silicone mould. It is a 1-to-1, so that's equal parts of bottles A and B, and it's only measurable by weight, so you will need scales. This is a transparent, and you can actually add mica powder if you'd like to colour it. In the box you also get your instructions, but blah de blah de blah, I'm not going to read all them out. Right, so the next step is this horrendous housing kit. So these basically are used to help you to, they basically give you a structure to cast silicone moulds in with some of your choice you want to cast. And most of them, I think, are made of plastic, so they're sturdy. Well, this one is made of rubber, and it's not sturdy. It is quite soft. I didn't even speak through this video because the drills were going outside, so hence the voiceover again. This will be the last voiceover though for a little while, because I'm struggling for time to do the voiceovers. Right, so yeah, I measured up 300 milligrams of the silicone, and for the housing I'm going to be using just a generic version of transfer tape, which is used for a Cricut machine. So all I'm doing here is putting the housing mould together. I was giggling doing this. I was getting frustrated. It must have took me about 15 minutes, because I never used one before. 10 hours later, honestly, I felt like I was stood there for days. So all I'm doing is the clips, they clip on. You get enough clips to double clip, so you can have 2 clips on each part that you've put together. It's just more secure, because you will get seepage otherwise if you don't. On this one you will anyway, because it's a cheap tacky thing I got off AliExpress, which I won't be getting again. I will be trying the Let's Resin ones, as they are the best ones apparently. Right, so I just cut a strip of the transfer tape, which will go down on the bottom of my silicone housing. I don't even know what it's called. I think it's a housing. Yeah, housing. So that's what I've done, is I've stuck that on, and there is some tape which goes on the bottom of your housing, and that's this double-sided tape which is to the right hand side. And for some reason, I think when I've edited it, I've cut it out. I don't understand. I'm not sure why. So what I'm doing now is I'm just cleaning the clamshell, because I've been touching it and the kids had been looking at it and it was just full of fingerprints. So you need to make sure that whatever you cast in with silicone, it's clean, and I mean clean, because otherwise whatever is on the mold, on the product you're casting, will imprint onto your silicone. So when you pour your resin into your silicone mold, your handmade silicone mold, you'll end up with fingerprints of resin. Right, so all I did was just clip everything together, put everything down, secured. What am I doing now? I don't know what I'm doing. Oh yeah, so what I did was just take a large pot and put I had 100 grams to the side, and I'm putting 200 in, so there's 100 grams in each of these white pots that I'm putting in there now into the big pot, and then I'll mix them together. You need to treat it like resin, so give it a good mix for about 5 minutes, and that's just to ensure that everything is mixed together. This silicone is bubble free, it's odor free. It is a really nice silicone. It's the best I've used so far. I haven't used many brands, because this is only the 3rd time I've done a casting, but yeah, by touch and also the weight of it, it wasn't heavy, it was quite light. So when you pour in silicone, you want to pour it from a height, and you want to pour it in one area and pour it slowly, and let your silicone go where it wants to go. And what that does is it just helps, it helps with bubbles, and it also just helps your silicone to settle where it wants to go, basically. So I've poured the 200, and then in another paper cup I've got 100, which I've mixed up. I mixed that up off camera because it was just easier than you all watching it, and then I just pour that. And I've been cutting. My editing skills are going up a little bit. I'm cutting things more, but you still be able to pick up from what I'm doing. So, and that's the important thing. So yeah, so there's 300 milligrams of silicone in the 300 grams, should I say, 300 grams of silicone in the housing case, in the casing, and it actually took the 300, so it's right at the top. So this takes 12 to 24 hours to cure. It was cured within about 13 hours. So I'm just taking the clips off, and then there was a little bit of seepage through the gaps, but it wasn't anything too bad. You just pull it off and you can cut it off with a pair of scissors or what do you call it, crafting blade, which I did try the crafting blade, but it was taking too long, so I just got out the craft scissors. Well, my holographic scissors. As you can see here, I am trying to chop because it was just so thin. It was just splitting as I was cutting it, so it was just easy with the scissors. Right, so that's it now. That's done. That's casted and set and set. So now it's time to demold the casting. So to get it out, I have to cut the shape. But the issue is, I think this should have been on lengthways, so it was stood up on its side, but it wasn't. I'd put it flat. So I've never made. I'm not good with molds, so I could just cast it the best way I thought it would be easiest, because I've done crystal molds before and they've not turned out right. So I just did it the best way I thought was best, that I was going to get a casting, and it casted all right. So I'm not complaining. So inside there was a little area for a pearl. So what I did was I put some pink floating mica powder and rubbed that in the silicone, and then I blocked it off with a little bit of silicone. But I don't block it off until I put some resin in. So this is some new resin that Teexperts had sent me to try. It is a 1-to-1 by volume. So that's equal parts of A and B mixed together. Pour the hardener first because it helps, because that's the thickest, and then pour your resin in. It helps with bubbles. You stir it for about 3 to 4 minutes. So I did mix up 120 mils of resin. And all I'm doing here is just popping some surface bubbles. It was actually a bubble. Apart from the Apex High Gloss resin that I used, this was the only other resin that I've ever used that has never had bubbles from mixing. It was really lovely, really smooth, quite a low viscosity as well. It wasn't thin, but it wasn't medium. It was in between. So what I'm doing here is I'm getting down the back of one of the clam, the lid of the clam. So I just poured from a height. And I filled up halfway, and what I'm doing here is I'm just squeezing as much as I can. And what that does is it helps to bring up the bubbles. And what I'm doing also is I've put enough resin just to cover over where the thing is. And what I'm doing now is I'm blocking off where what's it called? The pearl is. And what that does is it just stops the resin's curing together, and it worked a treat. So I'm just filling this up now, topping it up to the top, and then I just let it cure. It did take about 14 hours to cure. I didn't use my heat mat because I didn't want to induce bubbles. It did take about 14 hours. In my room, well, the studio is about 24 degrees today, so I cast it yesterday, and it was done by this morning. So Yeah, really nice resin. There is a 10% discount code from Teexperts as well, so everything from today's video will be down in the description box for you, along with discount codes. So that's now cured now. So what I'm going to do, because from the actual crystal one, it's got a green holographic effect to it, so I'm going to do a coat of UV resin. And what this does, I just want to cure it for about 30 seconds, and it makes it tacky. And then I can brush on some white opal flakes. The white opal flakes that I've got like a blue, green, yellow hue to them. So it should give the same effect of what the actual crystalled clamshell has as well. So I just cured that for 30 seconds, and then I brush on, it was tacky, and then you can use isopropyl alcohol, but I ran out. So I had to go back to using UV resin, and I just put that on and burnish it in. And burnishing it is basically just smooths it down into the resin and gives it like a mirror effect. And then I'm not coating it in black or white, I'm just keeping it clear, and keeping it clear just keeps its colour, its natural colour, and the state that it's in. Natural state, should I say. So the flakes are like a greeny, yellowy, bluey hue. It'll stay like that. I cured that for 3 minutes and it was ready to demold. And it was pretty easy to demold. It come out pretty fine. All I did was push the clam, and there you go. There's my version. It's not perfect because obviously I casted it in the wrong position, but it still took the shape. But yeah, here's my little pearl, and all I did was put a little bit of UV resin on, put my little pearl that I'd made, and a UV resin, and a UV resin that I'm going to cure it with the lamp. I did a 60-second blast, and then once I'd come off camera, I did it for another 2 minutes, and there we go. And it has the green hue that the original has. It's not as pretty as the other one, as the original, because obviously, and I think because I put the back on with the opal flakes, it kind of took away that shine that resin usually has. But yeah, overall it wasn't too bad. Right guys, so that's it for today. Let me know what you think in the comments. So please like, comment and subscribe if you've not already done so. That would help my channel out so much. And I'll see you on tomorrow's upload. So goodbye, thanks for watching.